Well, the email arrived from American Express. It looked so official. Had the logo. There was certifiable representation, small print at the bottom, had my name right, everything. And the message was, it was a simple message. Please confirm your username and password to secure your account. It looked so real. Dear Ed Brandt. Everything was just spot on. It had to be true. I clicked the link, filled out the information, username, password, hit submit, and nothing happened. It was blank again. I said, oh no. Oh crap. I said something else, but I said, oh crap. And before entering the information again, I clicked on the sending email to disclose who it was. Nothing was connected to American Express. It revealed nothing about a financial services company. The email was not from American Express. The note came from a scam artist. I panicked. I said a couple other theologically incorrect words. And fast and furiously, I logged into the official website, changed my password, turned on the two-factor authentication, and then just prayed to God that nothing happened. Nothing did happen. Now I can't remember the password I changed it to. You know, we're not always sure who's following us sometimes, are we? How many of you have a Facebook account? All right, more people than watch movies, I see. So you're familiar with the fake versus the real friend requests that you get sometimes from people. We have friends, we have followers. Normally, friends and followers comprise family and colleagues and classmates from long ago. And every now and then, people receive friend requests from just complete strangers. Why in the world would you want to be my friend? People ask that a lot about me for some reason like that. They have no reason to connect with you. The folks who send your friend requests are either just not dead gorgeous for whatever reason they become your friend, which makes you think, why? Or they're associated with a business trying to sell you something. I don't need some babe named Bubbles becoming a new strange friend in my life. And nor do I need a slick business person from Miami selling insurance to become a follower. We get strange friend requests. The sun beat down on Sychar where Jesus had sat. He was sitting at a well all alone. It's a well that still exists today. It's certifiably the place where this story happened. The well dug by Jacob. And the disciples were nowhere to be found. Jesus just there by himself. One friend of mine suggested that the disciples were shopping in stores looking for clergy discounts that day. I'm not sure where they were. But they're all gone. Jesus is at the well. It's not long until he has company. A woman walks up to Jesus. And he says, "Woman, give me a drink." Jesus never seemed to take Amy Vanderbilt's course on etiquette. The woman with no name is startled. She's startled for several good reasons. First, men did not publicly speak to women. And secondly, and more importantly, she was a Samaritan. Excuse me. Jews and Samaritans did not get along with each other. And Jesus crossed a line. He spoke to a person with whom he should not be conversing. He was breaking some mores and values of that day. And she knows that he crossed the line. Not being a shrinking violet, she asks, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask a drink of water from me, a woman of Samaria. Now, if you recall last week, I talked about the conversations in John. People seem to talk past each other all the time, and it happens here in this story as well. Jesus ignores her question completely. He ignores that she's a Samaritan, the racial issue. He ignores her gender, that she's a woman. And Jesus goes right to the heart of the matter. If you had known who was asking you for water, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. You know, Jesus is talking a different kind of language. He's being theological. And she, understandably, is being practical, literal, if you will. Isn't that the struggle we have in faith sometimes? The pastor talks theology, and the parishioners talk plainly. Have hope, the pastor preaches. Hope won't pay the bills, pastor. There's always tension between faith and facts, theology and plain talk, being real and being resurrected. And Jesus talks living water. And the woman at the well talks about water, the kind she has to drink, wash her clothes, nourish her body. She said to him, "This is a very deep well, and you did not even bring a bucket." I can hear her mumbling, "Geesh, and you call yourself a rabbi." The woman is poking fun at Jesus, having a playful time with the conversation. The Chosen, which is a part of the Bible study for the women on Tuesdays, is a television series on the life of Jesus as seen through the eyes of his followers. And as you know, with Hollywood, they always take some latitude with it. But I wanted to show you a 2-minute clip of this, of Jesus at the well with the Samaritan woman, and at the very end, he says something that just has stuck with me in this dialogue.
Yes?
I know, Jacob. And everyone who drinks this water will thirst again. But whoever drinks the water that I give him will never be thirsty again.
Wouldn't that be nice?
The water I give will become in a person a spring of water welling up to eternal life.
Really?
Yes, really.
Prove it.
First, go and call your husband and come back. I will show you both.
I don't have a husband.
You are right. You've had 5 husbands. And the man you're living with now is not your husband.
Oh, I see. You're a prophet. You're here to preach at me.
No.
Usually the one good thing about coming here alone is I can escape being condemned.
I'm not here to condemn you.
I've made mistakes.
And truth. Heart and mind. That is the kind of worshiper he's looking for. It won't matter where you're from or what you've done. I have not revealed myself to the public as the Messiah. You are the first. It would be good if you believed me.
You picked the wrong person.
I came to Samaria just to meet you. Do you think it's an accident that I'm here in the middle of the day?
I am rejected by others.
I know, but not by the Messiah.
I'm going to tell everyone.
I was counting on it.
Spirit and truth.
Spirit and truth.
It won't be all about mountains or temples.
Soon, just the heart.
You promise.
I promise.
This man told me everything I've done. Oh, he must be the Christ.
Hey, wait!
I came to Samaria just to meet you. I am not here by accident. Jesus comes to the heat of our lives, the noontime of our days, not by accident, but by choice, to give each of us living water. We need to put on the lenses of faith and see what continues to happen in that conversation and in our conversation with Jesus Christ. Jesus talks about the depth of living, while she's talking about the depth of a well. You can't miss the irony in the conversation when her shallow life is compared to the depths of Jesus' life. You know, we go to so many wells to be refreshed. Places that are just temporarily make us happy. Maybe a bar where we let off some steam, a dance party to expend pent-up frustration, a long bike hike to clear the mind and renew the spirit. Jesus is talking about something much deeper in life. And I think the church faces a dilemma. In my Google News alerts, Presbyterian Church, I get notices every day. It sets a trigger off about news that takes place across our denomination. People come to church for living water, seeking splashes of spirituality to cleanse the soul, refresh the spirit. And churches offer anything but those refreshing waters. Rummage sales, remote luncheons. Now, I'm not putting social gatherings to include breakfast, lunches, and dinners down, because God knows I love to eat. And God bless Corinne for saying I lost weight, but I love to eat. They're enjoyable, but they're only one part of the full life together. Every morning, as you know, I go to Wawa, get my morning coffee. I spend $2.45 a day. I get 20 ounces of black French vanilla. And I pass the folks gathered around those stationary tables outside Wawa, typically folks who get there at 6:30 in the morning and stay there for an hour and a half. And all they talk about is blood tests and biopsies. Now, I'm not devaluing those conversations, but I want living water. I want conversations and discussions that deepen my soul, that make me look at the world differently and help me cross the self-made shallow boundaries of life. You know, for some reason, we're more trusting and open with complete strangers than we are with family and friends. Sit beside someone on the airplane and they begin making discussion, you almost, it's like confession at 35,000 feet. We'd rather speak to a passerby about a crucial decision or a deep-seated dilemma than we would with someone who knows us. Maybe it's because the stranger has less information and background about us. They don't know the baggage we brought to this moment. It's almost like a pure kind of judgment and, outlook on our lives. Jesus and stranger have a talk at a well. She's there in the afternoon because she can't come in the morning with the other women. She's an outcast, married 5 times, and now living with another man. We don't know the circumstances, and it's there in those moments of being ostracized, a certifiable social outcast. Jesus goes to her. With one question, Jesus exposes her dark side, a secret part of her life that he seems to know. You know, all of us have secrets. All of us got dark sides. But those are the places to where Jesus comes and wants to give us living water from a very deep well. In the book by Adam Hamilton, The Walk, it's a Lenten book study we're doing this season. And to walk with Jesus is to cross lines, to meet people on the outside looking in, talking with folks who need to get some water from a deep well where living water is drawn. I'm guessing the prayers we have for our kids and grandchildren is that they find living waters and wells that Jesus has dug, and not those watering holes where people get lost and taken and is temporary. Jesus has depth, we're shallow. Jesus speaks theologically, we speak matter-of-factly. Jesus crosses lines, we color inside the lines. We all have a dark side. You see by any standard of ethics that this woman was living an immoral life. And we have a hint of that because she has come to the well by herself at noon. No friends, not with a group of people, by herself. The village women come to the well together in the coolness of the morning, like a 59-degree southwest Florida morning on a Sunday morning. She does not come with them because she's not welcome. People who are not welcome have to juggle their timing, their schedules, and their appearances. They're become unsure of themselves. They're on the outside looking in. They end up working in the heat of society, often alone, with no hope of ever being forgiven and accepted. I was in the St. Patrick's Day parade yesterday, downtown Naples with the mosquito board, and we had these beads we're throwing to people back and forth. And these kids had these. It looked like they went to Bead City and spent $1 million for beads around the neck. Give me more beads! Give me more. No. I said, I'm going to give the beads to people who don't have the beads. Because there are kids there they were there, just being at the parade was a treat. Going in deep water is dangerous. Going deep on topics is frightening. We're more comfortable with the shallow, the plain, the tidbits of life that are nothing more than gossip gummies for us. Jesus has an honest confession with the woman at the well by her life. She acknowledges who she is and what she has done. Those are the kind of conversation you only have with one person. You want to do it with a whole group, one person. And the response of Jesus is one to model. I mean, it's a great response. He doesn't shake his finger in her face and give her a lecture on how bad she is. He brags on her telling the truth. The purpose of faith is not to dwell on the bad of the people. The purpose is to enhance the good in people. You find living water when you own up to needing it and knowing who you are. We want to elevate people, not pull them down. There's enough pulling down taking place in the world. We need to do a better job of that in the life of the church. You know, even the most liberal interpretations of Moses' law would permit 3 divorces. She went for 5. And didn't even bother going to Vegas for number 6. We have names for people like that today. They're not good names. And they're names I will not repeat from the pulpit. She's a smart woman. She changes the topic of the conversation when it gets a little bit uncomfortable. I see you're a rabbi. Our fathers worship God on this mountain, but you Jews say the right place to worship God is in Jerusalem. In her mind, she would rather have some meaningless discussion on religion than talk about herself. And Jesus would rather talk about her, the woman at the well. When the truth gets too close to us, we change the subject. It's a shame about the Eagles. What about those Phillies? What do you think will happen next year? Who cares? Worship is such a vital aspect of one's walk with Christ. To Jesus, it doesn't matter where God is worshiped. All must worship God in spirit and in truth. Integrity is more important than location. And then the great revelation that takes place in the story, I who speak to you am he. Jesus answers this when the woman at the well speaks about the Messiah who will one day come. The jig is up, so to speak. We know who Jesus is by his own admission. And where and to whom does he make the big revelation? Pharisees? Sadducees? Scribes? In a synagogue? At the temple? This dramatic revelation is made to a woman married 5 times, living with husband number 6, by herself, wallowing at the well, who has made bad choices time and time again. And Jesus comes to her in the heat of the day, the heat of her life. Because of her past, this Samaritan woman who speaks at life in a shallow way is confronted by the Messiah, the Christ, who brings a deep understanding of redemption to her torn soul. That's when Jesus comes to us. We feel alone, abandoned, lost, alone at the well. Remember the movies Oh God 1 and Oh God 2 with George Burns, who played God? John Denver was a salesman, the shoe salesman that God appeared to. And the simple message was to John Denver, go and tell people about me. He did. In the movies, the religious leaders laughed at him. Surely God would not come to a shoe salesman. Surely God would not come to a little girl in school. God is revealed through Christ to a woman married 5 times. That is exactly to whom Christ needs to reveal himself. I came because of you. You think it's by accident I'm here at the well? Do you think it's by accident that he's in your life? The disciples return, they see, they're shocked, they say nothing. Even Peter is silent. I mean, that's a miracle in itself. This woman came for water. She found something so different, so deep, so refreshing. She found living water. And she's so startled and excited that she leaves the water jar at the well and runs back to tell the people what she experienced. Her life was changed. And the people come, the entire town comes to him. And Jesus says to the disciples, you say that there are 4 months left until harvest. I say to you, lift up your eyes and see the fields are ripe to harvest. She came to the well disgraced. She left graced. I'm not sure who the new friend request was in the story. Was it Jesus asking her to follow him? Or her who says, I want to become your follower? I'm not sure what it is. We all come to worship for a variety of reasons. My hope is we come for living water, a changed life, a redeemed outlook, a way to grow our faith and cling to a hope so our lives are full and we leave graced. Beware of emails from American Express. They come as they're not, as who they're not. Jesus comes as who he is. Amen.